Make sense? Understood?
Gotcha.
Jace, where are we on the Springfield file? Hey, wait 1 second. Everybody stay right there. Don't you wait.
Welcome to First Person Defender, where regular people come face to face with unknown attackers in real world scenarios and fight their way out.
Get your hands up.
This is First Person Defender.
On First Person Defender, we've proven that anything can happen anywhere. Today we have Johanna. And does she spring into action when things go bad? You'll find out and you'll learn something today on FPD.
This force-on-force training uses real firearms converted to fire marking cartridges. The crew wears yellow shirts and are considered to be invisible to role players. Johanna and her co-workers are settling in for their weekly update meeting. Emotions run high in the meeting, but are they ready when things get out of hand?
I don't know how many times I need to talk about cover sheets on TPS reports. Make sense? Understood?
Gotcha.
Jace, where are we on the Springfield file? Hey, wait 1 second. Everybody stay right there. Index. All right, what do you think?
I'm dead.
You're dead? You're dead? You took one?
Yeah,
as
but
far
I feel
as
like
you
I
know?
lit him up though before I took
it looks
one.
like you may have gotten hit, right? See a little black spot on your shirt right here. Sometimes they don't always break. Talk me through it. Tell me through, like from the time we sat down, what'd you see?
We were at a meeting,
Yeah.
and as soon as she hollered that he had a gun, I was like, I ain't waiting.
Then what happened? Because what happened to me?
You're down.
I got smoked
Yeah.
right in the doorway.
It was more or less as soon as I saw him and he came through, and I was like, all right, well, that's him.
Yeah.
It was time to light him up.
And so when he made entry, what'd you see first? What'd you do?
He didn't immediately go for me, so I
Mm-hmm.
figured that was probably good enough to get off a couple of rounds at him, so I just kept shooting until
Good.
I dropped him. And at that point, I was like, well, I'm gonna get the f***ing gun away from him
Yeah.
in case he's a sleeper. So.
All right, good, absolutely. And then once you actually were in the engagement, was that what you imagined?
Yes and no. I guess I sort of thought, like, in my head that I would take cover, but I just sort of like
Stood there.
Oh yeah. Well, not a yell, but I was like, well, it's business time.
That's a good point. In our head, a lot of times we think we're gonna do the stuff that we
Right.
know we should do, right? And then there's a saying, we never rise to the occasion, we fall to our level of training. And if you don't train that stuff regularly, you're not gonna turn into Superman, Superwoman overnight when this stuff happens.
Right.
You know, you gotta practice, you gotta go get training, you gotta practice it. It's gotta be recent, it's gotta be current. Otherwise, you're not gonna do that in real life. Is that where you would have chosen to sit? Or was
First
that
or
just
second,
the
or
last
the middle.
chair?
I like to be able to see the door.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. So would you have sat there if you had the chance again, or would you have sat somewhere different?
I would have been along that wall at some point along that wall.
How many rounds did you fire?
All of them, I think.
That's a good answer. I like that. All of them. Why'd you shoot him 14 times? Because I only had 14 rounds.
Right.
The Ruger EC9S is a purpose-built concealed carry gun. Now there's a feature here that you may not notice at first. This gun has been smoothed out. They've taken a lot of the rough edges and parts that can scrape you, poke you, scratch you, which is important for a gun if you're going to carry it all day, every day. It's a feature that they've really put some thought into on this EC9S.
Good job. You did some things that I would have done. That I think you did great. Some things that I would have changed. First thing, I like your seating position. That's where I would have sat. I want to be watching the door, but I want to be the closest to the door too. I don't want anyone getting in my way. As soon as you heard the commotion, I saw you going for your gun. That's good. We need to react. The one thing that I would have done differently is I would immediately have maneuvered on the door to gain a tactical advantage. So what I would do is I would have come around the table, obviously my pistol trained on the door, all right? And I would have moved up to this angle here, so I have angle all the way down the hallway. Now instead of a big open door, all there is a little tiny sliver of opening where a bad guy can see me. From right here, as they're walking up, bang, bang, bang. From a little bit further distance, you can engage your threat. The other thing that we can do, depending on the situation, depending on where the shooter is, all right, is we can get closer up into this doorway and dominate it. I'm gonna take a knee closest to the door frame, making sure that I'm not protruding out into the hallway. I'm gonna use this leg as an outrigger to counterbalance my weight, and I'm gonna stick it way out. I'm gonna aim in, and as I'm here, I can slowly pie this. As soon as I see something, bang, 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 I can tuck back in, I can move back, I can move up, all right? And I can kind of dominate this space, maintaining a tactical advantage. Once you're on target and you're happy, I want you to engage your target with 2 rounds. So before you lean out, I want you to drive the gun out, aim in. Yeah, now slowly move out into the doorway. That way your gun's already trained. So basically what I want to see next time is you did a great job on, I need to go now. But rather than just sitting and waiting for something to happen, drive the fight, maneuver on your aggressor, dominate the situation, put yourself in a better position.
First Person Defender brought to you by Inceptor Ammunition, Gundealio, ShopGunTalk.com, Sig Sauer, and Simunition.
So I preach a lot about combat acceptable accuracy. And that holds true. However, before you can get into all that whiz-bang cool guy stuff you see on YouTube, you have to have a certain mastery of the fundamentals of marksmanship and be able to have precision hitting a small target. If someone came to me and said, Greg, I want you to make me into the best shooter you can, we'd go to the range and we'd probably shoot dots or bullseyes for a whole week. Now, it wouldn't be very sexy, it wouldn't be very exciting, but you would have a mastery at the end of that week of trigger and sights. Trigger and sights don't change. Doesn't matter if the gun's this way, this way, this way. Trigger and sights stay the same. The more intimately you can know your trigger and sights, and the less you have to think about it, the more time you have to concentrate on other things like cover, concealment, movement, location of your adversary, reloads, malfunctions, all that ancillary stuff that actually builds a gunfighter. So when you go out to the range, focus on dots, focus on bullseye, focus on perfect application of the fundamentals of marksmanship. Not sexy. As instructors, we have to balance what you really need as a shooter versus what you want. Otherwise, we're gonna go out of business. But precision, fundamentals of marksmanship, dots, bullseyes, that is what you need. You need to master that before you can move on to the other stuff. Crawl, walk, run, folks.
The M17 from Sig Sauer. You know it as the P320, but this is the military version, the one that won the contract. One of the cool things about this is a lot of ambi controls. Ambi thumb safety, ambi slide stop, and that's great, works for a lot of hands. This is great for home defense, but really honestly, this is a gun I would want to take to the range and shoot lots of rounds through.
In this scenario, Johanna puts her training to the test when a coworker arrives late and angry.
Chop, chop, chop. Grab a seat, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, what the f is this? Talk about timeliness. No, leave that for him. I want to make sure he's a spectacle. Yeah, leave that chair open for him when he comes in late. Because I want to make him a spectacle. That's what I'm talking about, timeliness, folks. I mean, what's up? You know, like, oh, we're just slacking off. I've had enough. So this is what I came to talk about today. Cover sheets, TPS reports. This is important stuff. Jace, where are we at on the Springfield case? 1 week? I mean, what the f*** you like people? Well, holy it's about time, dude. What the f***? What took you so long, man?
No, you.
Dude.
I don't want to talk about what was that?
What's going on? What's going on? Index, index, index. All right, so talk me through from the get-go. We sat down, had the meeting.
So, I mean, we came in. The empty seat sort of threw me off a little bit. I was like, okay. And then I guess her yell wasn't as, like, she didn't yell.
She didn't yell.
She just kind of got taken out as soon as he hit the door.
Yep.
So at that point, then I did our training, hit the door frame, and then I got lit up.
Okay,
Like,
so when you hit the door frame, what was going on at the door frame?
I don't even remember. I don't remember.
I was in your way.
Maybe I
was standing in the door frame. I
I
was standing in the door frame. I want to see if you were going to move me out of the way. So a couple of things let's talk about from my vantage point. You moved, after I was in the way, you moved into the position, but your gun was kind of still down here,
Yeah.
right? Rather than being up, aiming down the hallway as you can open up. And the bad guy was in the hallway. He started engaging you, and you just started kind of
Yeah.
shooting from down here, which, I mean, that happens. That's why it's so important to train, because you start getting overwhelmed, you start getting out of your comfort zone, and we stop using our sights, we start shooting over the gun. Come here and take a look at the door.
Did I do that?
Yeah.
That was
So
not even
that's-
on him.
Right, so that's one of the things, you know, he's in the hallway, and this is what we see in gunfights. In close quarters battle and room clearing, when we look at doorways, historically, very typically, you see bullet holes riddled within about 1.5 feet around the doorway.
So
4,
basically, you
5,
just don't want to
6,
be anywhere
7, 8,
standing
9.
next to me whenever I'm shooting.
Right.
I was shooting
right. I'm glad I moved over
Right.
there. But you know, yeah, I mean, we have maybe 8, 9 of the rounds
Yeah.
here in the doorway. Ultimately, that's what I want this for. This is not training. This is an experience that hopefully people use as a catalyst to go get training.